Netflix making its debut in live sports yesterday with the Netflix Cup featuring Formula One race car drivers and PGA Tour golfers competing in a golf match. This move reflects a trend among streaming services to try to expand into live sports. Plus, there are reports that Netflix has expressed interest in securing rights for the NBA's in-season tournament. Joining us right now is Tom Rogers, Newsweek editor-at-large and executive chairman of Oorbit Gaming and Entertainment. He's also the former NBC cable president and a CNBC contributor. Good morning to you, Tom. We keep talking about live sports. They're the traditional live sports, meaning, gaining access to the NBA and the like. And then there are these types of efforts where they're effectively creating their own live sporting events with their own brands and things. Which way does this all go long term?
Well, I'm not sure the Netflix Cup would qualify as sports. I think it's more reality entertainment where you're using sports celebrities for it. It was combination of golf and racing golf carts, and ended up with the Netflix Cup being presented and the winner dropping the cup and it breaking. All part of kind of the chaos of reality entertainment that I think they put out. But Netflix doesn't need sports rights in the traditional sense you were describing. Sports rights give you distribution. They give you audience. Netflix has plenty of distribution, plenty of audience. I guess an argument could be made that its nascent advertising business might benefit from live sports. But the company has pretty much said that its business model is not one about renting sports, particularly on a domestic-only basis. So maybe they do something very limited with the NBA, like the in-season tournament you were talking about. But it's the other players who are really focused on sports, some of which who need it really badly.
Okay, so let's talk about who needs it really badly. I'm imagining you're going to put on that list Warner Media, right? They've had the NBA for quite some time. You have ESPN and Disney. I don't know where you think that sits. Comcast, parent company of NBC. Who else?
Well, two of those three, the first two, I think, need it very badly for different reasons. I don't think ESPN can continue to have sports primacy and make good on Iger's ambition to have a sports streaming service that's the leader in sports if they don't get the NBA. I think if they don't get the NBA, I think the notion of a dedicated ESPN streaming service is going to be much more difficult to pull off. I would think they would collapse it into Disney Plus, which may not be a bad thing for Disney, even though that's not the stated objective.
Are you of the view? Let me ask you this, Tom. One of the things that Bob Iger has been very open about is he would love to find a partnership. He's talked about technology partners. He's also talked about distribution partners and content partners being like the NBA. Would it benefit a league like the NBA to effectively have an equity stake in ESPN for some kind of discounted license deal? I imagine that's how it would have to be structured. Is that better for the NBA than taking cash up front, or for the NBA trying to do its own DTC product?
Well, I think all the sports leagues will have some form of their own DTC product. I think the sports rights business from the league's point of view is about cash, and having a minority stake in ESPN, where the future of ESPN, both as a cable service and as a streaming service, are somewhat questionable, given the kind of perfect auction dynamics that I think the NBA will see with three traditional media companies that you mentioned, not to mention Amazon, and Alphabet, and potentially others showing up. I really think cash is what will speak here. I think the other part of Disney that's hard to contemplate, given how much they need the NBA, is the talk about potentially selling ABC. One of the issues Warner clearly has as a sports rights bidder, it does not have a broadcast network, and reach really matters to the leagues. Not having a broadcast network is a handicap. Disney trying to sell ABC and then putting together some kind of commercial arrangement that would give it rights for ABC distribution. hard to imagine. I think Warner badly needs it because their affiliate fees are so tied to renewal of major sports rights. They're highly leveraged. They can't go that far in terms of bidding. Some suggest, therefore, a smaller package. But the question is, how small a package before those affiliate fees are compromised?
Okay, so you're David Zaslav. What do you do? He's trying to pay down debt, as you know.
Right. Well,
given the issues that you just raised, if you're him, do you? I mean, what you're suggesting in the auction dynamic is everybody who's paying for these rights is effectively overpaying for these rights. So the question is overpaying for these rights a worthy endeavor if they protect some kind of other revenue?
Well, I think given how highly leveraged Warner is, and given how much their business is tied still to the cable satellite side of the world, they can't afford to lose the NBA entirely and have their affiliate fees ratcheted down. I think that makes their deleveraging plan, which has already been called into question because of future advertising murkiness, that it would really put at risk their entire deleveraging strategy. So I think they need it, right, but they probably want a smaller package, right, where they can pay less. And that, right, probably means they'd favor bigger streaming packages.
We got to run, but I have one last final question. There's a fascinating piece in the New York Times this morning about David Zaslav and Warner Brothers. And in it, Barry Diller says this company could one day get bought. And by the way, says Saudi Arabia could buy the company. He says, don't laugh. Do you think the U.S. government would allow that?
Well, you know, it would get extreme scrutiny and all, particularly because CNN is in there. I think that it is one that would face an immense amount of political firestorm, and therefore probably not the chosen path if you want to get a transaction.
Tom, they'd sell it to Zucker first.
I'm not so sure about that, but that's...
He still wants it, I think.